Let's talk about Spider-Man. When it comes to Marvel, Spider-Man is kind of the staple, the symbol. It's really the key to Marvel's success. Whenever they're having like a bad day, whenever things don't seem to be going right, you know who you can always rely on? Spider-Man. But it seems like now not even that is gonna help Marvel. Today I want to talk about Madam Web, this movie that's gonna be releasing very, very soon. The child of Sony and Marvel, and it just doesn't... There are a lot of issues with this movie that I'd like to talk about, but let's talk about the first issue that I want to get into with a little bit of a story, and it's gonna relate. I promise it's gonna relate. I'm sure you've noticed at this point that there's something different about me. Yes, I did wear a haircut. Oof. I did get a haircut, and I also decided to remove the mask. I decided to move on to bigger and better things. But I need to make something very, very clear. I did not wear the mask because I'm a germaphobe, or that I still think that we live in 2020 where the world's about to end. No, my dear friend, the reason why I wore the mask was for you. It was a gift, because some people were genuinely asking, why did you wear the mask? The reason why I wore the mask was because I wanted to gradually put my face in there. If you look back at my older videos, I first was faceless because I used to play horror games, nothing else. And then when I started doing more commentary stuff, I decided to go Russian balaclava, war in the Donbass kind of era, and then I slowly went to the mask that we all know and love. One, because it was relatively easier to breathe, and two, because, you know, it's a gradual thing. The original plan was to show my face at 1,000 subscribers, but gosh, you guys just keep asking about it, and I just felt like, you know what, let's do it. But the thing is, I did it gradually. There was anticipation. You know what didn't have anticipation? Madam Web, this movie. This movie did not have any anticipation. It did not have any gradual thing at all. The official trailer for this dropped 2 months ago. And here's the thing about movies. When it comes to trailers too, it's the gradual build-up that makes people interested in the movie. That's really the bread and butter when it comes to marketing and advertisement. For an example, when the Batman trailer came out, when we got that little teaser trailer, people lost their mind because they didn't expect it to be that good. It was a really, really good-looking movie, and people were just so excited, like, oh my god, I can't wait. I cannot wait to watch this movie. And then we got another trailer and we're like, man, I'm getting really, really excited. And it was like that for about a year or so, 2 years, because, you know, COVID. But even then there was anticipation. This kind of feels like they just kind of plopped it on the plate. It's like, hey, we got this movie. Eat up. I hope you enjoy it. And that's pretty much what happened here. So from a marketing and advertising standpoint, it kind of really fell through. And I understand that some movies have trailers that get dropped really, really close to the movie date, and some of them are not as drawn out as others. But when it comes to Marvel and Sony, that's what they do. And who knows, maybe I'm in the wrong when it comes to the timing, but it just feels like they put together this trailer for this movie that they really, really want you to see, and then said, hey, it's coming in like 2 months, have fun, go play. Like an absentee parent. But fine, trailer drop date, all that kind of stuff, that's pennies, it's petty cash, nothing to really get really upset about. But then you watch the trailer, and how do I describe it? Because I remember clicking on the trailer and thinking, wow, this looks really, really strange. This is so strange that they would release something like that. I hope the plot in this trailer is really, really good. And it's just not. For one, it's a 3-minute trailer, and within that short span of time, they fill your head with so much nonsense. It's all crammed in there. And who knows, this might be on the fault of the trailer, but it just looks like a mess. Maybe the movie doesn't represent that at all. Maybe it's just bad. Maybe they just did the trailer wrong. But it just looks like a mess. But to give you a little bit of a rundown if you don't want to watch the trailer, and I wouldn't blame you if you didn't, let me give you the cliff notes that's provided in the description. The suspensive-driven thriller stars Dakota Johnson as Cassandra Webb, a paramedic in Manhattan who develops the power to see the future and realizes that she can use the insight to change it. Forced to confront revelations about her past, she forged a relationship with 3 young women bound for powerful destinies, if they can all survive a deadly present. So basically, Madam Web tells the story of how the protagonist escapes death and then is given visions about how she and her friends could potentially die. Interesting. It's not unlike Final Destination, where the protagonist narrowly avoids death and then gets visions about how their friends are going to die, and then they try to stop that. You're beginning to see the problem, right? There's nothing unique about this movie. It's Final Destination Spider-Man edition. That's it. That's really it. And yeah, there's some other aspects in there as well. But still, And there's some like multiverse stuff in there as well that I really don't understand in the trailer. I think they dive into like the multiverse aspect that Marvel's now trying to go down. I think they kind of touch on that a little bit, but still, it just doesn't really fit together. And again, yes, it is just a trailer, but from the trailer itself, it just doesn't look like a movie that's gonna do good. From its poor advertisement to the actual movie itself to the storyline, it just doesn't look like it's gonna be that good. And that's even with the precious, the almighty Sydney Sweeney who's starring in this movie, because she's kind of she's the what girl now. She's kind of the girl that everybody looks at like, oh, Hamina, Sydney Sweeney. But even then, with that casting, I just don't think this movie is gonna do that good. Regardless of that though, this kind of just shows the problem that Marvel and Disney especially have been dealing with these past couple months, if not years at this point. Because Marvel has it's clear, it's clear on the wall. Marvel has been struggling ever since they finished the Avengers everything. Ever since Endgame came out, everything has kind of been at a standstill. You get these gems every now and again, like Spider-Man No Way Home, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and other movies like that, but for the most part, it just kind of seems like Marvel has been doing stinker after stinker, especially when it comes to their series. And again, yes, there are rare exceptions, but it just seems like they're just not the titans that they used to be. And I understand that Spider-Man's different because it's a combination of both Sony and Marvel. So there's two companies to blame if it goes right or if it goes bad. But even then, this movie just doesn't look like the boost that they need in order to get back on their feet. And the unfortunate thing too is that out of all the series that Marvel has, Spider-Man has always kind of been that consistent one that they can always go to, and they can always see, they can see the big bucks coming off of it. But when you look at this stuff, when you look at the Madam Web, and I understand it's a standalone story, but it just doesn't really fit, and it just doesn't look good. I think they were trying to do something unique because, thriller isn't exactly something that you think when you think Marvel. So I understand the direction that they were trying to do. They were trying to do something unique. I just don't think that it was executed properly, and I just don't think that it's gonna do very good, especially when you consider the audience that is Marvel. And yes, there is superhero action, all that stuff in this trailer. It exists. It exists. But still. At the end of the day, though, it is all just trailers. We're gonna find out in like a week or two if this movie's gonna be good, and who knows, maybe it's the best movie we have ever seen and will ever see ever again. I just don't think it will be. But I am more than willing to be pleasantly surprised. But as always, at the end of the day, we're just gonna have to wait and see. But that's it for me today. Thank you so much for watching, if indeed you still are. My name is Brockster, and I bid you all adieu.